Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. I'm with Hector V, and of course, myself, Ovi Muniz. We have a special guest here, and I am really excited because he is known for having his sweet victory. But before we even introduce this superstar, we'll take you back to 1998. Okay, yeah, 1998. Now, 1988 wrestling, it was on fire. We have the rivalry between WWE and WCW and everything. Shawn Michaels was the champion, especially through February of 1998. Okay. Right. And then it wasn't until WrestleMania he loses to Stone Cold Steve Austin with Mike Tyson as a special guest. What else? WCW. Who was the champion in WCW?
Well, see, at the time in January, the belt was vacated, but then Sting wrestled Hulk Hogan at the Super Brawl 8 and wound up defeating Hulk Hogan to become the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. The Stinger himself.
That's right. And then also that was on the rise was ECW. They had Shawn Douglas as the heavyweight champion there.
Right.
But man, there was just so much wrestling. And listen, this was the era that year when everything transitioned from VHS tapes to DVDs.
Yes, that was an awesome time. I mean, it was exciting just to have a DVD player. You can rent all your wrestling things. You don't have to do cassette tapes anymore.
Oh DVD, my God, baby. Yes, indeed.
Blu-ray was the best because it was much more clearer than regular DVD players. Yes, sir.
Look, it didn't matter. You know, today's people, they don't know what that is, right? They only got to stream or go to YouTube and find everything. But there's somebody else that was so unique in February in 1998, and that's no other than the victorious BRG. Now, we're going to introduce him shortly, but he is from Rhode Island, a college graduate. We're going to find out more about him, but he is wrestling in different promos. And in the particular promo called Northeast Wrestling, he is the biggest heel. Okay. This guy's getting hated on. I mean, they even call him Justin Bieber. They tell him that he sucks. But sometimes he put his mouth where it don't belong, and the crowd just erupts on him. Like you say the word "the," and already people are booing him. So, I mean, imagine that. But hey, here's a short clip of BRG, and then we'll get him inside our studio. So here we go. Welcome, BRG, to our show.
What an intro! I tell you that was pretty freaking awesome.
We appreciate that. But hey, welcome to the show. Thank you once again. I know you have a busy schedule and everything. Victorious BRG, who is ready to go head to head with an opponent we'll talk about later at Northeast Wrestling. That's happening this Saturday at Bethany, Connecticut. But before we even get there, BRG, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, I mean, you did a great job introducing me earlier here. But yeah, Victorious BRG, Brett Ryan Gosselin. It's not a gimmick name. It's my real name. BRG also was Brian Richard Gosselin, my father, who sadly passed away in 2017. After that happened, at the time I was going by a completely different name in wrestling. Since then, I've just gone and used my full name to not only honor the legacy that my father left for me by being BRG, but also, it's easier to be me by using my own name and stuff like that. And then, the master of sweet victory.
Oh, we're going to be talking about sweet victory.
Music in all of professional wrestling today. There's no doubts about it. I have yet to meet anybody else that has a better theme song than me.
You know what? I have to agree with you on that one because I think the second theme song I want to say is "Waves and Curls" with Whitney Houston's song, because
You know,
everyone jumps around and dance around. But when you hear the word, when you hear that introduction of your song, right, and you're about to come out, it's already "Sweet Victory," and then
yeah,
like everyone sings it, no matter how bad the fans hate you. Okay,
it's an
I won't say
infectious
hey. That's
song.
a strong word. That is a strong word.
No,
I
no, no,
mean,
no. It's
your
okay. There's some
character and
haters.
everything else, right? But
It's like
everyone's
just.
singing the song. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you can love a song and hate a person. It's true. I mean,
oh,
like, there's plenty of people that I can't stand, but I love their entrance music. Not gonna go into any names, but
mm,
yeah, no, Waves and Curls. It's funny you mentioned that. It's like literally like the same, like same school. We came from the same wrestling school, both trained by Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, Vincent, all those guys down at the Wrestling Kingdom in Rhode Island.
okay.
It's just funny that you put the comparison right there, right out the gate.
Nice. And that's news to me because I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Um
I
that
love those guys. I mean,
that
like, maybe not when I'm wrestling them, but outside of wrestling, they're good people and they're accomplishing a lot. And especially in like the short time that they've been in
Mhm.
wrestling, I'm really proud of them for what they've been able to accomplish. And I know Taven's especially proud of them too.
Well, I'm proud of each and one of y'all. And I didn't know Northeast Wrestling until I guess I moved to Connecticut in
Hmm.
2018, and my first interview was with Keith Youngblood, and for him to describe me what Northeast Wrestling was and everything else, I was like, let me go see what Northeast Wrestling is. This is like in my
Hmm.
back door here, and then the very first match that I see, it is you coming out. You grab the mic, you start talking. I'm looking at you like, who is this guy, right? And I'm like, okay, and I'm just looking at the fans' reaction, and everyone is just saying whatever they want to say at you, and you're just taking it all in. All right. And if it wasn't, and if I think you kind of pushed Kurt. He is the ring announcer. So I guess you told him off or something like that. And then I forgot who was your opponent, but anyways, you ended up losing the match. And I think you and I had little Twitter beef. We talk about that later.
Just a little
Um,
bit.
no, it wasn't good. Like, for example, you got 3 wins in Northeast Wrestling, and you didn't like that, or the fact that I had my top 10 and I didn't include you in my top 10. I'm like, well, he
What?
got to win a match, man.
Well. Okay, first off, so that loss was a complete fluke because the referee
Mhm.
doesn't know how to mind his own business. Second, when I turn around, the first thing that I get is a slap right across my face. Hits me in the ear. I'm hearing ringing. I'm disoriented. Next thing you know, a kick comes to my face. And of course, I'm going to stay down for a 3 count. I don't even know where the hell I am at this point. I didn't even hear the referee count to 3. If anything, it was like a 2 count that I just didn't even realize. But that ranking, I don't know, little sus. I'm not gonna lie, because you started putting people on that list that weren't even on that show that day.
In my defense, it's all calculus since January 1st. But that's okay. That's all right. I know for a fact, and I've already done my predictions. I'll let you know my predictions by the end of the show. I'll let you know who's going to win between you and your opponent. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Look, BRG, in your defense, I mean, he got some weird rankings sometimes that I don't even
Oh my God.
We're all
Are you
on the
serious?
same field, and
it's all right. It's all right. He's wearing a BRG shirt right now because he knew he had to, kiss up a little bit, be on my good side for this interview. So I don't have to tell him off the entire time.
So
he's got to move you up in the rankings now. I mean,
yeah, no doubt. He's on my number 1 list right now. We got you. First of all, I like your shirt, and I like the way I like to read between the lines. So your gimmick, Sweet Victory, and everything else, and I take that, and I'm in a fall league in bowling, and I represent your shirt, and I know I pictured it. You responded because, again, I wasn't mocking you. I guess I'm making fun as your character. But I like you lost your matches, but I'm gonna come out with sweet victory here because I love taking names in the bowling, especially if I'm off of my first game. And then like I could hear the little chatter. I was like, okay, I got you. And my next game, and Hector's my witness because to this day he still can't like bowl straight against me. But
put the gutters up, I might get him.
But then I come out and I start striking and everything else. I come walking back, sweet victory. And then it's contagious. It's contagious.
That's how I was in hockey. I grew up playing hockey my entire life. I like anybody that knows me, sweet victory, all that stuff. It's because I've been competitive my whole life. I don't like losing. Losing's just not.
Who doesn't like losing though, right?
Oh, that's the thing. But like that's the thing. There's like people that don't like losing, and then there's like people like me who like it eats away at them if they lose. So yeah, I focus a lot of my energy into the fact that I do like winning. I love winning because it's the best, especially because I have a very don't care attitude towards everybody. It's like, in all honesty, there's a lot of wrestling fans, and I'm not talking about you guys in this situation, but there's a lot that think they know better. And there's a lot of people that when I started, they thought they knew better. They thought, okay, this kid's going to do nothing, absolutely nothing. Like I was told my first day of wrestling training, not by like Taven or any of those guys. It was the school that I went to prior to that. And one of the trainers said, you should just quit now. Like you have like no chance in wrestling. And so I've had that chip on my shoulder since that day. And now I have every single time I make like a major accomplishment in wrestling, I always take that quote and I always put it on in the caption. Just it's an extra. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay,
I mean,
it's an extra fuck you to that guy that decided
absolutely
to say that. Like I said, I just don't like losing. It's just not in the cards for me, and that's exactly why I have the attitude that I have.
I'm glad that you. Oh, go ahead, Hector. Go ahead.
And you say that because I'm not too familiar with NEW, but like Ovi is, but he's been catching me up and schooling me on that. But you have been heavyweight champion over at the other wrestling organizations that you had, right?
Yeah,
so you have been winning, right? You said that you were the NCW heavyweight champion, so you know what winning is, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
I beat Anthony Green, formerly known as August Gray in WWE, for that championship. I lost it and then won it back from him the same day. And then the photo that you just saw right there, that's me holding the top rope interstate championship. And I literally just retained it this past week. And you'd be surprised. That's the thing. Top Rope Promotions is like my home company. It's the place where I currently train at because my previous school no longer is open. But that's like my home. The fans know me there, and they've been following my journey since I walked into that company. You'd be surprised. I'm actually really liked there.
I hope so. This is your hometown.
The fans love me there. Not even my hometown. It's just my home company, and the fans love me there. And that's not to sound conceited. Like,
no,
it is.
No,
don't get me wrong.
I think it's true within wrestling overall. No matter what role you play, when you're at the hometown, home state, or whatever, I mean, people are gonna love you regardless. They're not gonna go against you.
It's like Bret Hart in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Curious that when you were training, you had to pay a fee for wrestling school. Am I right?
Yeah. You always have to pay fees.
So when you pay and an instructor's telling you that you're not good, that you're not going to succeed, I don't know, man. I think I would have handled that situation different.
Well, that's
I would have I probably would have told him, "Yo, go F yourself, and I'm paying you, so make me better."
Yeah. Well,
am
that's
I right?
Thing is, yeah. I mean, you can take it that way, and God knows in some situations I'll be like that exactly. But at the same time, it's like I don't care. I don't care about people's opinions about me. It's just I don't really care. As you saw at Northeast, you saw I literally every single person in that arena was chanting Justin Bieber. And in the back of my mind, this just shows my mentality. I'm like, these idiots are literally calling me a successful, handsome billionaire, and they're thinking it's an insult right now.
Well, I tell you what, if you got the crowd chanting for you, whether it's positive or negative, you're doing your job, and especially that you have wonderful mic skills. That's something that not everyone has that talent, but I got to give it up to you. Maybe it's that communication degree that you have from Quinnipiac College. I don't know, but it just seems that, and maybe so. And well, let me ask you this: as a little kid, you watch wrestling. So there's any superstar that you didn't watch wrestling at all?
I hated wrestling growing up.
Really?
Wow, why?
It wasn't until 13 years old I actually started watching wrestling.
What was the switch? What was it? What triggered you to watch it?
So I always hung out with my neighbors right down the street. Mm-hmm. And I remember just going up one of the first times I ever went up over their house. And I saw wrestling action figures, and I was like, "You guys watch wrestling? That's so stupid." And then they started showing me. It's around the time in like 2010. I saw a couple shows. Like it was right in the middle of like the Kane and Undertaker storyline when Undertaker was in like a vegetative state. It's like it's like the storylines are so bad when you think about it in retrospect. But I was hooked. But it wasn't until like January 2011 where I saw the Rated R superstar Edge on Friday Night SmackDown teaming with Kelly versus Dolph Ziggler and Lay Cool. The spear was banned. Edge couldn't use the spear. And the World Heavyweight Championship was on the line. And there was just all these different things. And Edge was the coolest thing because that's the thing. I was 13. Like, I was very much in, like, that angst phase where I wanted to be, like, this like cool, like I like listening to rock and roll music, all that stuff. So Edge coming out to like Metalingus and all that, it was like, this is the guy I want to be. So like I was hooked on it from the start. And I had about 3 months before he retired. And then I followed Christian throughout the entire summer for his world title run, which still awesome feud between him and Randy Orton to this day. And then the CM Punk thing, that's what kind of opened my eyes up to like what actually goes outside of WWE. Because like I didn't know anything about it. Hell, I still didn't really know anything until I got into the independents about like what a good independent is versus a bad independent, stuff like that.
I'm still learning myself what's good and what's bad. I mean, I only can see what's streaming on these apps right now, which is phenomenal that we're now to this day and era that we're able to see different independent promotions. You're also not only with Northeast Wrestling, but you're with Beyond Wrestling. And I'm going to mess his name up. I know I am. Is it Worcester, Massachusetts?
Worcester, Massachusetts. Yep.
So I was there. I passed through there last week. And I was explaining that to my wife. I was like, why would it say Worcester? It's not even spelled the way it's supposed to sound. Right?
That's a lot of times.
I called it Worcester and I got corrected. No, it's not. It's Worcester. And I'm like, what?
That's all right. My girlfriend, she's from New York. That's what she called it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when she first saw it.
I bet she got that accent, that heavy accent, right about it.
Does she say New York or New York? Does she say it without the K?
The former. No. Okay. She says it with a K. Yeah.
Oh, she said it with a K. Okay.
Yeah.
You ask Hector. He's from New York. He don't say the K.
It's New York.
No, now you want to say it all proper,
no.
right?
She'll say things that properly, but then there's other words that I don't understand where she gets the pronunciation from. Like, how do you like documentary? Like, you just say that. She says documentary, and it pisses me off every single time. I know she can hear me right now while I'm saying that.
Oh boy, you're gonna see a shoe flying over there.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Hey,
so go ahead.
Real quick, with these different promotions that you deal with, do you find it hard or easy to deal with it, juggling with them? Because I mean, good.
No. Finish what you were saying.
No, because I was just saying, because you've been champion one way, you're in another one, and it seems like you have success with one, and then not so much success with the other ones. But how do you go and juggle that, with right now?
It's difficult, especially like some days I'm like exhausted. Like I had 3 shows 3 days in a row, so I had like Beyond Wrestling / Wrestling Open on Thursday. And then I had Top Rope on Friday. And then I had NCW on Saturday. 3 different places, 3 completely different crowds. It can be tough sometimes to juggle it, but I feel I found a good way of finding the happy medium for all of them. My main thing is I just go all in for everything that I do. So like you were mentioning Wrestling Open, like freaking I ride a hobby horse and wear a ridiculous cowboy hat because, Steven Stetson pays me a lot of money to be a cowboy in the Stetson Ranch. And you know what? I'm going to take that money because it damn well is treating my bank account very well. And I'm going to run with it. And I'm going to make everybody remember me. I don't care what it is, what I'm handed. I don't care what people offer to me, what people want me to do. I'm going to take it and I'm going to hit it out of the park because that's how I'm going to be remembered. And I'm here to be remembered. I'm not here to be forgotten.
You talk about that cowboy stuff that you do there, which is not, you're not even that person in NEW, but how do you prepare yourself? Like, okay, promoters telling you, hey, I want you to be a cowboy, right? How do you prepare yourself to be in that gimmick?
So I hated it. I really hated it at first because like I sat there, I'm like, what the hell? Like I thought like I'm not a joke. And then I remembered, brought myself back for a second. I talked to some people like Joey Eastman, Sidney Bacabella. I was talking with him and he's like, this is a great opportunity. And at first I was like, what do you mean? He's like this is something you can take and you can hit it out of the park. That's exactly why he kind of took me back, made me realize, okay, like I have a chance to do something very fun, very memorable, and people are going to remember it. So I'm going to do it. And I went all in. As soon as we had that conversation, I jumped on Amazon. I bought myself a cowboy hat, the most ridiculous cowboy hat I could find on there. And then they told me I was coming out to Fancy Lake, which is an awful country song. It is so bad. And the problem is at the time I was living in Connecticut and my neighbor had these big speakers and every day on repeat, that song was playing and it was vibrating throughout my entire apartment. The bass was just going crazy. So I really had a disdain for this song, but I didn't care. I walked through the curtain and I put on my best Southern cowboy accent and I just have kept rolling with it from there. There was 1 week it came out with the cowbell. There was 1 week where I introduced Clip Clop, which is the horse's name. And then I had the opportunity to wrestle Max Caster. And I said to myself, this horse has a talking feature. If I do not take advantage of that against a guy whose whole thing is that he raps, I'm an idiot. So I went out there, I put gold chains on Clip Clop. I made him look like a rapping horse. And I made sure the sound guy, we tested it. I made sure it was all good before I did it. And it is still one of my favorite moments this year.
If you ever come to the WWE, I got to see this.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just you've never been down south, have you?
No, I have.
You have? Well, actually, don't you have something coming up in Texas? Right? Okay.
It's called Smash Mouth Live. When I was at Raw, I was talking with Austin Theory. I'll pick up that name that I just dropped. Right. And he was someone that I knew before when he was on the indies. Not like best friends or anything, but like I would see him at shows. We would talk. We worked one match together. So when I was talking with him, this guy that I'm going down to work for, Lance Romance is his name. He was actually the guy that gave Austin Theory his first booking outside of Georgia, which is where he's originally from. So when I was talking with Austin about it, he was like, no, he's a really good guy. He really took care of me when I was on the indies. Like, it gave me a lot more confidence. So I'm really excited to be going and doing that. It's like my first time outside the Northeast for wrestling. So it's really going to be fun.
And so when is this again? Because I'm here in Texas and I can come see it.
Will's Point. It's I can shoot you over.
It's an hour east of Dallas. I actually looked it up because you have posted something, and I said, "Where is this?" Because I too used to live in Texas. I was stationed there in Killeen area, Central Texas. So I was like, "Where's this place at?" Because I've never heard this town before, and it's an hour east of Dallas. But again, it's like everything's big in Texas, so like you drop a city, and you be like, "Well, you know, you're gonna go travel for a long ways." So Hector's from Waco, so that's about like what, an hour and a half drive for you.
Hour and a half, maybe 2 hours because of the traffic. But yeah, I would definitely like to, come see you.
Please do.
And you won't be able to miss me.
I just think it's so funny when you guys are like, "Oh, this part of Texas is an hour and a half away from me." I live in Rhode Island. Everything's 40 minutes from me. You can literally drive through the state in 45 minutes. Like, it doesn't take long.
Yeah. Actually, it takes me 45 minutes from here in East Hartford just to get to the border of Rhode Island. So
we could put Rhode Island in Texas, and you'll lose it somewhere in the middle of the desert here.
Well, so my girlfriend was telling me that her county in New York, where she grew up, is the same size as Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So man,
I love it. I love it though. Like, I've been back for a month. I lived in Connecticut for about 2 years. So boring. Like, it bored the crap out of me. I'm very happy to be back in my home state. It's where I grew up. This is where I know everything.
I'm sorry that everything's boring. I mean, it's Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac was fun. Don't get me wrong.
So then it was a good time then.
But that's the thing. I spent 2 years after I got out of college. Okay. And all my friends moved back to Jersey. So it was like...
I got you. There we go.
I was like, it's not much. Like, I don't go out and party anymore, so it's like, what's the point?
Wow.
So you are getting set to wrestle Lorenzo Papa.
Lorenzo Vendetta.
Lorenzo what? Vendetta?
Vendetta. Yeah. I don't know where Papa came from, but yeah.
Oh man, there it is right there.
I saw that graphic. I was like, did he change his name?
Oh.
But yeah, that I understand where that confusion comes from. I was
I've never heard it, guys. I couldn't even find them or find some information on them, but I know you, and my prediction, you're going to win this Saturday.
I mean, what other prediction was there going to be?
He's victorious already. Come on.
Hey, I'm gambling on this one, so I need you to win.
This is the easy pick. This is the easy pick. This is like back when freaking McGregor fought Cowboy Cerrone, and like everyone's like, "Oh, McGregor's obviously gonna win." And there was that one guy that was like, "Nah, Cerrone's gonna pull up the upset." Like, you're an idiot. But no, I'll give it to Lorenzo. He's he's still new to the scene and everything. Like, he has so much potential in the world. All potential. He looks great. He's in a group. He's in the Battle Academy group. Chris Battle, his own trainer and stuff like that. He has like a good guidance.
Okay. Got it.
With going through Northeast Wrestling, but this is his first match, and those pre-match jitters are gonna come towards him, and I'm damn well going to take advantage of that because
I've seen a few of those in Northeast Wrestling. I've seen them. Nikki Duke is also I've seen her first match, and I could tell it's like, you got to give it to her though, because she was managing Club Camp for so long. Now she got the spotlight, and I was like, okay, but she got better her second time around. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it's people don't realize how nerve-wracking that can be. I still get some nerves sometimes, not the Saturday, but I still get nerves sometimes when I go out there, especially if it's a big match, like a big fight feel type of thing. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, 10 years, 20 years, 1 year, it's all the same. It like
So
you
when
get
you
those
started in Northeast Wrestling, who was your first encounter in that guide you in and say, "Hey, welcome to Northeast Wrestling, and this is what we got"? Who
well,
was that person?
so Taven at the time
Mm-hmm.
was helping out a lot at Northeast Wrestling when he was still living up here. He was helping out President Michael Lombardi with a lot of the things backstage, just helping the ship run smoothly, essentially.
Right.
And since he's my trainer and everything, like I had the obvious in. I showed up, I helped out. I literally did it for months before I was finally given an opportunity to answer the Chuck O'Neill Open Challenge. For anybody that doesn't know, Chuck O'Neill, he's no longer wrestling. To my knowledge, he lives down in Florida now, but it doesn't mean that he's not a crazy son of a bitch. He was on Ultimate Fighter. He was on Brock Lesnar's team. He's like a legit badass. So imagine that's my first encounter when I go into Northeast Wrestling. I was like, I gave him my all, but at the same next thing you know, just a knee comes across my jaw and I'm out. Just slapped me across the face, threw me down, and that put a chip on my shoulder from there on out.
So that got you the green light to come back to Northeast Wrestling and have all your matches.
Well, I work hard. That's the thing.
Has there been any time in your career that you was like, I had any doubts, or this is
You have.
And how did you deal with it though?
Well, that's the thing is like during COVID, like there was no shows, there was zero, and I was like, well, dang. And then there was this whole like speaking out movement and everything that happened on top of it, and it was just like a whole lot of negativity for a lot of months, where you're like, is this really like the career that I want to go through? Is this everything I want to go through? Because then there's nights where you sit and you're like pondering. It's like, why did I choose this? Why did I do this? But at the same time, it's like, if I left like those 6 months away with COVID and everything like that, it was hell. It was like, I need to go to a show. I need to wrestle. I need to do this. I need to do that. I was like, is there training open? Is there anybody that's doing like an open ring? Just something where I can go like roll around and just like run the ropes, have some fun. It was nothing. And I was like driving myself insane. I preoccupied myself. Don't get me wrong. I got really good at poker. Really good.
Oh, that's good.
I got really good at poker.
Train the brain. There you go.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it took 6 months to finally like do like a camp show. Like we just had like Northeast had like a little camp show. And so it was like after that, then Limitless Wrestling started doing like closed tapings to where it was just like the wrestlers and social distanced. But it was like even in that environment, it was like, okay, this is fine. I'm wrestling, but it's like it's not the real thing. I'll never forget going back in front of the crowd for the first time. It was just very invigorating because, you miss it. You miss it.
Right.
And so it's that feeling that makes me keep going. I like no matter how many bad days I have, just when you walk through the curtain, it's a feeling that you'll never forget. So that makes it all worth it.
Yeah. You ever thought about hockey? I know you said you played hockey, right? I mean, was that ever like, a backup plan just in case,
No, it just never was. Like I love playing hockey. I love watching it. I'm a like lifelong Montreal Canadiens fan. For anyone that doesn't know that yet, hockey, like it was my hobby. It was something that I like to do, but it was never something where I was like, I'm gonna like make a career out of this.
Right.
Like when I watched WrestleMania 27, my first ever WrestleMania, when I watched Edge versus Alberto Del Rio, I was like, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be like, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be me. I'm going to wrestle. I told my friends, I was like, we should all go and start wrestling. They're like, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And I'm like, you say that, I'm going to go do it then.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to put your mind to it and go for it. And if you don't go for it and you always have it in your mind, like, I wish I did this, is always going to haunt you. So, and I'm glad you mentioned hockey, because I guess this is the reason why. Let me move my microphone out the way. The design here is almost look like the NHL. Is this the reason why?
Yeah, so that logo itself is a little inspired off of an older logo, which is literally the NHL shield with my initials on it. I wanted to update the logo a little bit just because I want to avoid like copyright reasoning. So like just in case, God knows, if I show up on TV one day, that logo, you know, the NHL multi-billion-dollar company, they could send a lawyer if they really wanted to for no reason if they got bored one day.
To get what? Change?
I don't know.
They're not going to waste their time. They're probably going to tell you, please stop, and you'll be all right. Yeah.
Just tell them, look, I'm victorious. You just leave me alone. Woo, I'm victorious.
Throw it up.
Here, so I got a picture of you and a WWE Hall of Famer. Explain to me what's going on in this situation here.
I'm telling Bob Backlund to stop stealing the spotlight from the young guys in the locker room, because he's out there telling everybody, like, trying to reminisce the old days of when he was WWF champion. And it's like, I don't care. It's like 20 years before I was even born. Like, get out of the ring. The man decided to do a handstand. A headstand. I'm sorry. Freaking 75 years old. Like, no matter how I felt about him in the moment, I was watching it and I was like, I can't even do this. And this dude is just like going crazy. Like, he's standing, like, he's on his head for like a good 30 seconds. And I was like, okay, that was impressive, but you just made me look bad now. So now I have to punch you in the face, and don't look at the footage. That's exactly what happened.
But how's it feel to be in the ring with a Hall of Famer, though?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes you feel like, okay, I did this for a reason. And it feels like hard work pays off. Now, it doesn't mean I'm satisfied with everything.
Right.
But it's like, it's another stepping stone towards like that ultimate success. Like, the more stepping stones you take, the closer you are to achieving like your ultimate goals.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, you're reaching for your goals, right? And you don't let nobody stop you, right?
Absolutely.
Because with those who tell you can't do it, that makes you do it even more.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't
go back to what he said before.
I don't like people telling me what to do. And I shouldn't say that. I don't like when people try to predict my own future. It's like,
you're right.
You have
no one should ever be that way.
Yeah.
And that's a good learning point, because again, we go through obstacles in life. But it's us, you individual, that have to get that mindset. Like, look, this is where I'm going for. And sometimes there's nothing that is a direct path, none whatsoever. But a lot of people think, I won't say a lot of people, there are people out there that think that they automatically gonna get it. And that's not the case. And like you said before, you got to work hard to achieve your goals. And right now, and I'm going to tell you right now, BRG, for you to be on this show, you are well liked, to be honest with you. And you're doing something. And I already see it. And now maybe it's coincidentally that you have the same birthday as my son. And I remember asking you, hey, man, when's your birthday? And when I saw the date, I was like, what? I was like, wow.
It's a good sign, right?
My son was born in San Marcos, Texas. So, and I told him about it. I said, hey, man, there's a guy that has the same birthday as you. You got to check out this show. So he's going to tune in once this is published. But here you are. I like this picture right here. So I took this picture of you. You're coming out, you're looking all swagging, and what's up with the sunglasses though? I mean, look like Bumblebee or something like that. What's up, man?
No. Those sunglasses are sick. Those are like, there's another photo, different angle from that show. And
okay.
It is one of my most sold 8x10s. I don't know why, but it's a great look that day. Freaking, it's like, I look great. So you can shit on the glasses all you want. I'm telling you right there. Me with those sunglasses and the Power Rangers inspired gear. Yeah, no, I look like a badass. And this gear, oh my God, this is like my favorite gear I've ever had.
Speaking about traveling, you said you had 3 days, right? Like you had is it always like that? You're scheduled like three back to back to back? And like
time.
Is it like within the vicinity or you gotta travel different states?
So, well, the thing is like, like living up in New England, it's like, yeah, you're traveling different states, but it's like they're like 2.5 hours apart from one another. So like I'll go from Massachusetts one day, I'll do a show there, and then I'll do like a show in Connecticut, or I'll do a show in, actually I rarely ever wrestle in Rhode Island now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean I wrestle every Thursday in Worcester, and then there's some weeks where I have to go up to Maine, either central or southern Maine. I prefer when it's southern because it shaves off 2 hours of a drive. But like, especially with my old job and stuff, I would work on Sundays so I could have my Fridays and Saturdays off. So I would drive up to Maine on a Saturday, wrestle, and then get home at like 4 in the morning, and then wake up at 7 and go to work. So yeah, it can be taxing. Wrestling is taxing. There's days where like I'm falling asleep like on the road. Not actually, like I haven't gotten in any accident or anything like that, but like there's been multiple times where I'm driving home at like 2:30 at night and I'm by myself and I'm like, okay, let me just go into a rest area real quick and just take like a 15-minute power nap just to keep myself awake. And then normally that works out. That's the thing, is I have my things that I do if anything goes wrong during like a trip or anything like that, I know exactly what to do now. Wrestling can be, it can be hectic sometimes. Sometimes it's like one show a weekend. Sometimes it can be 3 shows a weekend, like this past weekend. But the good thing is that they're all fairly close by. Like I'm not driving like 10 plus hours to get to any of these shows right now.
You never been in a position where you had to like sleep in your car and live in your car for a little bit before you go back home? Have you ever done that before?
So I've never had to live in my car, but I have had to sleep in a car before. I remember it was like one of my first trips going up to Maine. This guy, oh my God, he was such an idiot. I don't even know how I got roped into getting in the car with him, but I'm not gonna name him because he's an idiot. But this guy, just to prove my point, he had like one of those Jeeps, and you know how the Jeeps have like the spare tire on the back of the car?
Yep.
Yeah. He had a spare rim. That's about it. No tire on the spare rim. So guess what we got on the way back from Maine in the middle of nowhere? A flat tire. And it's 2:00 in the morning in the middle of Maine. And I'm on the phone with AAA because I'm the only person in this car that has AAA. And I'm on the phone for an hour on hold, waiting. And finally someone picks up and they're like, yeah, like we don't have anybody that can really like come out there right now. I'm like, well, I need you to. And we had like 3 other people in the car. So like we needed like one of those big extended cabs. So like that's even tougher to find. So this guy, God bless this dude to this day. For some reason he sees this podcast. Thank you. He drove 2 hours to pick us up from Maine. He went from New Hampshire to Maine and then drove us all the way back down to Rhode Island.
Oh shit. That's
God bless that dude.
Hours.
And I didn't get home until 9:00 that morning. So I slept in the truck the entire night. And like my neck is probably still sore to this day. And this was like 5 years ago.
Oh damn. Oh man.
Not a comfortable experience, to say the least.
Oh, that's a jackass for not having a damn tire around the rim. Like, who carries the damn rim in the back of the Jeep?
Right? Like, you think.
I want to start saying some military terms. What happened to your PCCs, PCIs, right, Hector? Where's your checks? Like before you go, do you not check everything? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, but hey,
I would have drop kicked him off the top of the Jeep. I'm sorry.
Well, left his ass freaking. Start walking home. Oh man, I would have been furious. I mean, whew. Sometimes I'm in that situation. I'm very short tempered. Oh boy,
same.
I'm already. God damn, what an idiot.
Yep.
Real quick, I gotta ask this because when I heard about your name, I thought about the rapper, the Notorious B.I.G. Did that have anything to play with this?
Absolutely. It
okay,
did.
I was gonna say because the Victorious B.R.G. I'm like, baby.
It has a ring to it.
It does.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, I originally did Notorious BRG, and then I remember I was talking to one wrestler, and he was like, I was like, yeah, I shouldn't really do Notorious. I was like, there's nothing that really like makes me notorious type of thing. He's like, why don't you do Victorious? I was like, yeah, that works. Yeah, I'm a super competitive person, and it just so happened that I like got reminded about Sweet Victory, like maybe like a week or two later, and I was like, this is my music now. This is it. Do this. And like people are like, oh no, like why do you want? No, just use the music. Just don't argue with me. Just let me do it. I'm taking a risk on this one. Just let me do it.
Yeah, you got to write your own chapter, right? And it's working for you.
Yep,
it's working. It's working. And like I said earlier, was like that music hits. We know BRG's in the house. We already know.
No, I can't wait to meet you in July.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know if you're going to remember me, but I'm definitely going to remember you.
Man.
I promise I'll remember you.
Okay. Because I'm in the process of buying my ticket right now, and I'm
good.
I'm looking at my seat to where I'm going to sit at, and I'm going to make sure I'm right there where you enter. And if you don't give me a high five, I'm going to blast you on the show that Tuesday when we come back.
Oh hell!
Yeah. You're giving me opportunities right here that you don't know about.
Saying.
So we got Joe. He is the signed Godfather. Okay, and you know, I think he's the only one in the fans that has signs that posted up and everything else. I don't recall, but have you ever took the sign and ripped it up?
Once. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I only did it because I won my first match there, and it was a big stick it to like all of you people because it said 0 and like
you beat Ray Jazz, wasn't it? Ray Jazz, right? Yep.
And that was the perfect time.
Now he beat Ray Jazz, but go ahead and explain to Hector how you won.
I did what I normally do, and I just beat his ass. That's it. That's all I have to do.
You're lucky I don't got replay up in here.
CGI is a thing.
Hey, you got to win at any cost. That's all. I'm just putting that defining moment right there. Win at any cost.
Yeah, by any means necessary. Why not?
Yeah, by any means necessary. You got to do what you got to
do it all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's how I was in hockey too. There was an old trick I did in hockey. I was a quick thing, but like on the back of your hockey pants, there's like a little tail, and if you take your stick just right, you can push it right down. So if I was ever trailing a guy and trying to catch up to him, just take my stick and put it right on that tail. He would skid out, and I could just take the fuck right there and go. And like people will tell me that's so cheap. That's so cheap. I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to win. Trying to win, being people.
Wow.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't Eddie Guerrero always did that too? He lied, steal, steal. Right. We usually say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly. Trying to win here, people. Breaking the rules every once in a while doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
All right. But hey, this Saturday you got a match with Lorenzo. July 16th at Bethany, Connecticut. Good luck to you there.
Good luck to Lorenzo. He's the one that needs it.
I mean, like I always say to all the superstars after meet and greet, hey man, just be safe out there because you never know. You know, anything can happen. Not to try to put stuff in the head, but we're there to have a good time. And I know everyone reminds everybody, hey, you guys are performing. And I've seen some clips with all the fans acting stupid and everything else, but I like an NEW that I know of since I've been there. It's always been an awesome place to have a show. So, but
Absolutely.
Ashley, good luck to you. And before I forget to mention my condolences to you in losing your dad.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I could see you, man. I could see you in the future being on television. And I hope you get there, man. I really do. I don't know how long that stuff takes. Whether it's 5-10 years or something, then you do it. I don't know. But I hope you fast track, man, because I did put it on Twitter, your face versus the Miz. What a dream match that will be. I don't know if it's who's gonna be the biggest shit talker or the one that's gonna cheat their way in the victory, but hopefully Maurice's not in the way. But that means you might have to get somebody to be your sidekick. So
may have to. Hector, what you doing that day?
Give me a wig. I got you. I got your back. We're doing Texas style.
You're gonna see her like pull my leg, and the next thing you know, you just see Hector bolting down the ramp. Just tackle the bitch.
Well, Brett, thank you for being on the show, on the HHWShow Podcast. But before we let you go, you have the last words. What is it what message would you want to send to our audience?
There's only one thing in this world that matters, and that is sweet victory.